Hello. For today's assignment, it's on compound and complex sentence structure. This is, again, for our Unit 3 Revise and Edit Test Review. We've already gone over sentence structure this year, and I've put in some of the same slides as reminder slides to you. You can always go back and look at that original assignment, which was, of course, called sentence structure. But what you're going to do is, with understanding sentence structure, it's important because it provides us with a framework for the clear written expression of our ideas. You will always write in complete sentences, which are correctly punctuated. A complete sentence contains a subject, verb, expresses a complete idea, and makes sense standing alone. It's important to have all of those details to be a complete sentence. On each slide, read the directions, then work the sentence structure assignment. Turn it into Canvas when you are finished for a grade. As a reminder, conjunction words use the fanboys acronym. We call them coordinating conjunctions, and they join two independent clauses. An independent clause, of course, means that it has a subject, a verb, and it makes sense on its own. Our fanboys are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those 7 joining words are the only words we will ever use to join two independent clauses. So it's fairly easy. If you memorize fanboys and memorize these words, it's pretty simple. The compound sentence examples: my friends went to the party, comma, but I stayed home. So my friends went to the party is a sentence all on its own. I could stop there. It has a subject, my. It has a subject, friends, and it has the verb went. We have to the party, which is a prepositional phrase. We have a complete thought. But we didn't want to make it so simple. We made it a compound sentence. So when you make a compound sentence, you join a second sentence that is related to the first sentence. But is our fanboy, and then I stayed home is its own sentence by itself. So it's subject, verb, complete thought. So you can read the rest of these on your own. We've already gone over this year, like I said, with our compound sentences. So for this compound sentence assignment, you will add an independent clause in order to make the following sentences compound. Make sure to add a comma and a conjunction word. The conjunction word, of course, would be for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So always join two independent clauses with a comma and a fanboy, just like we said. And then once you write your sentence, I want you to drag the purple circles to mark each coordinating conjunction fanboys in each sentence. So we loved the concert last night. That is an independent clause. Subject, we, verb, loved. The concert last night is a complete thought. But I don't want to stop the sentence there. I want you to then add something that is related to that sentence. So you have to put a comma and a fanboy. We loved the concert last night. And I'm just going to use the first one for, and then you got to have another independent clause. And you got to think of someone who might be performing. I'm going to think for Jason Aldean is one of my favorite performers. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit so I can see my sentence. We loved the concert last night, comma, for Jason Aldean is one of my favorite performers. So independent, and I joined it with a fanboy for. So I'm going to circle it. So that's what you're going to do for all of these sentences. Make sure that you put a comma. And I want you to use all of the fanboys at least once. So you have, I did the first one for you. You're going to make sure you use for, and, nor, but, are, yet, so at least once in the rest of these. And make sure you circle your fanboy. Now, then we're moving on to are complex sentences. Complex sentences have dependent clauses. And a dependent clause, it also has a subject and a verb, but they do not express a complete thought. They often begin with a subordinating conjunction. Our subordinating conjunction would be our Webis list. We'll show you more about that in a minute. So, we look at, so while I ate apples. While is our subordinating conjunction. And then I ate apples, of course, is a subject. I is the subject, ate is the verb. It's not a complete thought. While I ate apples, what? While eating apples, what happened? Well, this doesn't express a complete thought, therefore it is a dependent clause. And here are some examples of our dependent clause. After we drove to the store, who drove? We did. What did we do? Drove. What happened after we drove to the store? Well, it doesn't tell us this. Therefore, this is a dependent clause. And I'll let you read the rest of these on your own. So for this next assignment, so I'm going to move these subordinating conjunctions up a few slides. That way you can look at them. Subordinating conjunctions. So as a reminder, a subordinating conjunction is a word or phrase that links a dependent clause to an independent clause. This word or phrase indicates that a clause has informative value to add to the sentence's main idea, signaling a cause and effect relationship or a shift in time and place between the two clauses. So now, what do we do? So what we're doing on this one is we're determining which one of these is an independent and which one of these is a dependent. So while I was getting ready to leave, that is dependent. It's not a complete thought. So on this one, what you're doing is going back to this one. Sorry, I got distracted there just for a minute. While I was getting ready to leave, if you see on a Webis, one of our subordinating conjunctions, I want you to drag the blue circle over. While I was getting ready to leave, of course, that is and that's what makes this dependent. I drove all the way to Florida. Well, that is an independent clause. It stands alone just like it is. So you will go through the rest of these and mark them. And if it is dependent, since I woke up late, that is a dependent. It depends on the rest of the sentence to make sense. And it starts, of course, with one of our Webis lists, one of our subordinating conjunctions. And on this part of the assignment, you're going to drag the box over the dependent clause in each sentence and then drag the blue circles to mark each subordinating conjunction. If I make good grades, I get to go to the football game. If I make good grades, if my sister didn't get to have a sleepover at her friend's house because she got in trouble, and then you would just drag this over and stretch it out just a little bit if it's a bigger word like because. So you do that for the rest of these. And then the last part of the assignment is you are going to finish writing these sentences, add the necessary clause in order to turn the clauses below into complex sentences. Make sure to add a comma. Now this one says, although it was snowing outside, so it's starting with a Webis, a subordinating conjunction. Although it was snowing outside, because it starts with a subordinating conjunction, you have to put a comma and then you type the rest of the sentence. So, although it was snowing outside, comma, we went on a long hike. So we went on a long hike is your independent clause. Although it's snowing outside is your dependent clause. Because it started with your, a Webis started the sentence, you have to have a comma. And you will go through the rest of these sentences using that exact same format. Turn every single sentence into a complex sentence with a dependent, comma, independent. And then make sure you circle your subordinate conjunction. And that is it. When you are finished, make sure you turn this into Canvas for a grade.